This guy's full of holes. Yeah. And then
That's in the prenup.
I'm gonna crack right
Do you allow black guys on the trip?
now. We had him on the last trip.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
Welcome everyone to the Sick Golf Trips podcast, where everyday golfers share their stories, budgets, formats, mistakes, and more so that you can get ideas and get inspired to make your next memory and create your own sick golf trip. I'm your host, Kerry Hugh, along with my co-host, Berkeley Hoagland. How's it going, Burke?
Kerry, it's going fantastic.
Did you buy that background?
Yeah.
I think you need to apply an iron to it, you know?
Yeah, right. I literally just pulled it out of my bag and I'm like, oh, let me try it.
It definitely looks like you just pulled it out of the bag.
I'm like, oh, let me, because you know how it is. It's like every time you're on, you want to let the people know, like, we're doing something a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me see. And I was like, oh, shoot, I got this background. Let me see how it works. All right. So listen, we need to make sure that we're uniformed. Okay. You need to start wearing a hat because the forehead and the light that beams off the forehead, it's blinding. So I don't know. You go find a hat, find something. But man, you're killing me, dude. Killing me.
I'm trying to draw sponsors in. Say, see, I need help. Hymns,
Well, yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah, that okay. Well, maybe wear a him shirt or something. All right, if that's what you're looking for. You need more than that. You need just a wig. You need just like a wig or something, or just a toupee. Why don't we just do that? Just slap it. Actually, you know what would be better? Let's just get a motorcycle helmet sponsor and just put you in a motorcycle helmet. We don't even need to see your face.
Well, or a hockey helmet. That would be better.
A hockey helmet would be good. Hockey helmet would be good. That would be good. So how you doing, buddy? Did you get on the golf course at all this week?
Yeah, remember we went on a mini 2-day in Temecula. So we did Temecula Creek and Cross Creek.
Nice.
Awesome.
Was it good?
Just 4 guys. Yeah, we did. Actually, we learned from episode 3, Chris, we did a Stableford, where it's a certain number of points for pars and birdies and eagles. And we actually did a negative for triples and over. Super fun.
Wow. So who did you win any money?
So I ended up winning. I was behind. It was super tight. We were all about the same handicap, so we just played it straight up. It was super tight. I was behind after the first day, and the second day, I had a day. I could not miss my drives. It was amazing.
Are you serious? You were driving.
Yeah,
you were driving like the tournament that we played in that first day I golfed with you.
Yeah, it was. If not for one hole where I had a quad because it took me 3 shots to get out of a bunker, but if not for that hole, I would have shot like a 75. It was incredible. Yeah, I found the 70s again, and it wasn't an easy course, so it felt amazing.
That is awesome. What did you wind up winning?
I won like $20 from all the guys.
No, that's great. Yeah, hey, to me, like I told you 100 times, if I win $1 or $500, it don't matter to me. I am still gonna just rub it in your face, even if it's a quarter. Even if it's a quarter, I always say, "Hate a black man," and that's what I like.
Did you get out?
We did our normal Sunday and Tuesday. So this past Tuesday, it was up to $400 because nobody it carried over. So I only think one guy won the whole thing on Tuesday. So yeah, so you know.
So could I come and jump in on those carryover days?
Yeah, if you come in on jumping on carrier, you just got to buy in for 20. So the buy-in's 10. So you just got to buy in for 20. No problem.
Oh, so you're still. It's not like you're cheating the system,
right?
You still got to pay it. Okay.
Yeah, you still got to buy in. So
all
it's
right.
good.
How's your game?
The game's not. I mean, man, you know you're gonna win on birdies, dude. That's the whole thing. If you get a birdie, you're in the money. So out of the 9, I probably had 2 birdie putts and I missed them. So in pars, yeah, you're probably not gonna win on a par. But I did win money on Sunday. I won a ton of cash, like ton. It was like $12. Oh my God, it was unbelievable. Lots of money.
Awesome. So this week's it's been actually pretty exciting because been getting some good views, so it's awesome. So I would encourage the community to help us out. If you're liking the content, definitely drop a like, drop a comment. We'll respond, share, even post a review potentially on Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever you can leave reviews. That would be much appreciated.
You know, Carrie, I think that's awesome. You know, and here's the thing, Carrie. I know me and you have been talking about where we want to go with this, and I am just so eager to like do this on the golf course and have golf courses call us and say, "Hey, can you do your podcast at our course?" I can't wait for that to happen. And if there's anybody that has a golf apparel company, you see that I have mine, Golf Happy, Dress Happy, Play Happy. So if anybody's got any gadgets, anything like they want to promote, you better jump on us right now, because right now it'd be cheap. But I'm telling you right now, every month that price is going up. That price is going up. Right?
Exactly. Speaking of which, it's a good time to introduce the sponsor. So the sponsor for this week is Porter Road. You remember we met Chris Roach, the CEO of Porter Road. I went out to their facility in Kentucky a couple weeks back because I was doing some AI training for his team with my business, Agent Success Manager. And it was awesome. And you know what? No joke. You got to get the hookup from him, but I swear, they cooked up this meat. It was the best tri-tip I've ever eaten.
Are you serious?
It was unbelievable. And I asked, what was the rub you put on it? And he said, just salt and pepper, because that's all it needs. It was, I can't even explain. It was amazing, amazing. And I don't say that like just because it was amazing.
Oh my God. Well, you know, Berkeley's backyard barbecue, man, I do tons of tri-tip. So yeah, I'm going to have to get with him because I was supposed to get some meat from him. So I need to figure out how I can do that to try it and make him a great video. But yeah, that's great. So how did it go? What did you do for his staff?
Yeah, so I was just training them on some AI, how to use AI, how to leverage it so they can accelerate some processes and automate some things. So it was good. This week, I think you're going to be excited. I'm really excited. We've got a gentleman on that's going to talk about a trip to Ireland, actually.
You gave me a little bit of an insight on our guest, Joe, and I am so excited, man. It seems like this guy's like the guru of traveling golf trips, man. It's like, how did you find this guy?
Yeah, found him randomly on Twitter, but yeah, he seemed like a plethora of experience, and I hope to learn a lot.
That is unbelievable. I cannot wait to talk to him.
Hey, Joe, how's it going?
What's up, Joe?
Hey guys, how are you?
Very well. So you're going to tell us today about a trip to Ireland, actually. But before we get into that, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your history with golf, or where you fall within the kind of the golf spectrum?
Yeah, so I've been golfing for, probably 40 years now, believe it or not. And grew up outside of Boston and grew up an athlete, and my Berkeley likes that.
I do. I love Boston, man. That's my home. I love it.
Does that mean you're a hockey player?
I was a goalie when I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh my God. Holy Jesus. This guy's full of holes. He's full of holes. I'm telling you, a snapshot, right? Oh my God. Snapshot, baby.
That's awesome. We're both hockey guys too. That's how we met, actually. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so I grew up there, and I played a lot of baseball as a kid, and there was a country club, we'll put that in air quotes, in the town I grew up in. It was a muni, and they had a driving range. So when we got a little older, we used to go down there and just, hey, let's see how far we can hit a golf ball. Let's try to hit it over the net at the end of the driving range and all that. And that's all we did. We just goofed around the driving range. And one day I looked over at the golf course and I said, wonder what that would be like to actually go out and play. So caught the bug, started playing in the area. Then we started going to the DuPont, it was called back then, the DuPont World Amateur Tournament in Myrtle Beach. And that was a blast because we wound up making great friends for life there. And that's when I started getting more and more serious about the game. And since then, now I'm to a total of 483 courses that I've played.
Holy man.
Yeah, most of them obviously in the US, but some Ireland, some Scotland, and made some great friends on Twitter. All of a sudden, after my first couple of trips to Ireland, my Twitter number of followers really picked up. And since then, got a pretty good following, and I live here in Pinehurst now. I'm a member at Pinehurst, and I've had guys come down from Twitter who said, hey, can we play together on number 2? So made some great friends that way too.
That's amazing. So, yeah, we had a guest that talked about Pinehurst, so that's why I refrained from talking about that. But that was one of the golf meccas to me. Like, it just, the way he explained it, it just looks phenomenal, like amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool here, I'll tell you. And the cool thing is there's other courses other than just the ones that are in the resort. I mean, Mid Pines, Pine Needles, Southern Pines, Tobacco Roads up the road, so to speak.
So you're a tournament player. So and a member at Pinehurst, I take it you're pretty good. Are you scratch?
No. I'm not even close to scratch. I'm in the teens as a handicap.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy the game. I don't take it too seriously. When I was younger, I took it pretty serious. Now it's just get out with the guys, have some fun, and that's my goal in golf now. And to travel and play golf around the world.
So I'm assuming you're retired now, or
this close to retirement. Yeah, it'll be soon. It'll be in the next few months. Yeah.
nice. Whereabouts in Boston did you grow up?
I grew up in Norwood, down by Foxborough.
Ah, dude, I went to Cushing Academy, played hockey at Cushing. You ever heard of Cushing? It's in Ashburnham, Mass.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. And played a lot of hockey there. Then I went to Northeastern University. Didn't play varsity there, but I'm going back to Boston in a week and a half for my 40th year reunion. So I love that area. I worked at Foxborough too for all through college, selling sausages.
That's phenomenal. I probably bought one from you.
You probably
And you survived to tell the tale.
I did. I'm still here.
Well, let's jump right into it. So, a wealth of experience, clearly, but you're going to focus on a trip to Ireland. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my best friend and I had done a couple of trips to Ireland, and then I worked with a golf travel company out of Ireland to put together a group trip of my Twitter followers in 2023. Wow. So we wound up bringing 20 guys over, and you'd think it was going to be herding cats, but it wasn't too bad, actually. And we started on the West Coast, moved our way over to the Dublin area. We played some amazing golf courses, Carn, Enniscrone, County Sligo. Then we moved over to Dublin area. We played the Island, the Jameson Links, which were just redone, and County Louth, which is phenomenal.
That's interesting. It was Twitter followers, so these aren't even your buds. These are randos on the internet.
Yeah.
You just accumulated.
Yeah. Now, some of them were little groups that came. Some people knew each other, and it was great. We had a lot of fun. And here I was thinking, what's this going to be like? Am I going to be pulling guys out of pubs at 2 o'clock in the morning? Am I going to pulling them out of their beds in the morning to get them there? And I will tell you guys, every morning, if they said the shuttle was leaving at 8, 7:30, all 20 guys lined up ready to go. So turned out that was not a problem.
Did you have to kind of have the come to Jesus talk before? Did you kind of set things up and say, guys, this is what I expect? I'm not going to I don't want to come here to babysit. Everyone, if we're here at 8, you got to be here at 7:30. Make sure you're not getting too jacked in the bars. You're getting home, getting your sleep, because we got a lot of golf, and I do not want to be a babysitter.
Well, I'll tell you, we really didn't have to do that, shockingly enough. The only thing we had to work on was, because we had that many tee times, we had 5 tee times all back to back to back, we had to figure out when we were going to leave the golf course, because we didn't want the last group to have 5 minutes and then all get on the shuttle and leave. So I made the decision after the first day. I said, okay, going forward, when the last group comes in, the shuttle's leaving 45 minutes after that. And we rotated the groups too. So if you were first one day, you were last the next day. So everybody had an opportunity to spend a lot of time or that 45 minutes, because that was the only thing we didn't think of ahead of time that we should have, was how much time are we going to give those people who come in last? Because they might want to eat. Obviously, they want to go to the pro shop and buy some stuff. So we wanted to make sure everybody had enough time.
So the travel company, obviously, it sounds like that was a must-have, must-use. Like I'm sure it took a lot of the stress off of your plate. Yeah,
absolutely. It took everything off my plate, because there's so many moving parts. It's not just the tee times, it's the hotels, it's the driver and the shuttle, and making sure that we had that all set up. So it was really turnkey. The company did a phenomenal job. So no one was ever late. We never had an issue with a tee time. We never had issues checking into the hotels. Everything was done really well by this company.
I want to get into a little bit more of the logistics and the dynamics, because that's super interesting to me,
Yeah.
especially having accumulated the group from Twitter. But to get it out of the way, from a cost perspective, how much do you think that added, or what did it kind of run you guys each to do this?
I'd say it was somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000, depending on if you wanted a single room or you're going to share a room with someone. Obviously, a lot less expensive if you're sharing a room with somebody. But a lot of guys wanted singles, so they were on the higher end of the trip.
That includes the flight?
Everything but the flight. So that's
Okay.
the shuttle, that's the hotels, that's the golf. And the only other thing really you would pay for out of pocket were caddies, if you wanted caddies.
How many days did you guys go?
We were 8 days. So we played 7 rounds in 8 days.
Whew. Could your back take that, Berkeley?
I definitely, because I know right now you don't have a cart, right? There's no cart.
You can, if you have a doctor's note, you can get a card.
Yes,
Because we did have a couple of guys that got the doctor's notes.
I'm in.
Berkeley's already calling his doctor, ready to go.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I'm coming off 2 brand new friggin' full knee replacements. One of them I'm 6 months into, and one I'm a year. So, yeah, man, if I was going anytime soon, it'd be tough for me to be walking every day like that. It would be horrible.
No, I get it. I literally just came back from Scotland 2 weeks ago. We went to St. Andrews for the first time, and we played 7 rounds. I walked 6 of the 7 days. And I had my phone in my back pocket. Every day I took it out, it was 21,000 steps, 22,000 steps.
Wow.
Man.
Well, the other thing is that you've got a caddy. So, I mean, that is also way better where they're carrying your clubs for you, and they're also giving you the lay of the land too, right? So that's got to help.
Absolutely, especially on courses you've never played before. I mean, if you're playing a course blind, because in Ireland, there's a lot of mounds and dunes and hills and blind shots and stuff like that you have to overcome. So if you have a caddy who can say, all right, hit it on this line and you want to hit it about 140 yards, at least you can club yourself, and rather than guessing because it's over a hill. I mean, there's a hole at it's called the Dell at Lahinch in Ireland. It's a par 3, and it's got a huge mound in front of the green. You can't see the green except for one little slice over on the side. But if the pin's over here, what they do is they take a white rock and they put it at the top of the hill to give you a line to where the pin is that day.
Oh, wow. Okay. Again, this is a pretty big trip. It sounds amazing. For the golfer audience out there, when should they consider a trip like this versus maybe something more local? Because you've got a pretty good experience with all types of trips, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've done a lot of domestic trips as well. I mean, we've done Arizona, Wisconsin, Carolinas, obviously. When you're ready to have an experience like you've never had before, that's when you do this, because Ireland golf is different than anything you've ever seen or played. I mean, I'll never forget my first round in Ireland. I hit an approach shot to a green, and the wind was in my face, and I'm not lying when I say this. I was about 20 yards short of the green, and walking up to the ball, the caddy just handed me my putter. Said, here you go. Don't even think about trying to chip it or bump and run, because everything's very tight lies there. So he just gave me the putter and said, go.
Yeah, I just, because I'm new, one of the reasons we started this is to learn about it.
Yeah.
Would you recommend, hey, actually, maybe you should experience a little bit more domestic first before you go in, because you would appreciate that more? Or
Absolutely.
how do you kind of see that?
Absolutely. And especially, and I tell people this all the time, especially if you're on the East Coast. If you're on the East Coast, it's a very easy flight to Dublin or Shannon. Nonstop. I mean, Aer Lingus flies into and out of a lot of places on the East Coast, so it's easy to get to. But I agree with you 100%. You should experience the U.S., get your handicap down to where it's a manageable handicap, and then that's when you make the trip over there.
So tell us a little bit more about the golf and the courses out there.
Well, we started at Cairn, and I don't know if you guys know who Tom Coyne is. He's a golf writer, and he's written a bunch of books, and one of them that he wrote was about Ireland. And he came right out and said Cairn is his favorite golf course in the world, and this guy's played everywhere. And so I said, okay, we got to play Cairn. So we played Cairn, and I can tell you the golf course is phenomenal. As a matter of fact, in the latest rankings of the top 100 courses in the world, it came in as a top 100 in the world. And the people there are actually nicer than the golf course is. The people are incredible at Cairn. I love, Fiona and Jerry, the two people that run it there, are phenomenal. Same thing at Enniscrone, which is the next course we went to. And the funny thing about Carn and Enniscrone is they actually have a friendly rivalry as to who has the tallest dunes on the golf course. Because these dunes are 30, 40 feet high. I mean, they're as high as the Green Monster at Fenway Park. They're just dunes on the sides of the fairways. Yeah, it's wild. I've never seen.
How do you get out of that?
Just get it back and play. Just get it back. Get it back in the fairway. Go from there. But climbing is interesting. Climbing those dunes, if you hit one up there, is interesting too. So we played those two. We played County Sligo, that is in the town of Sligo, which is. I'll tell you what was exciting about this course, other than the people again. But you play the first 4 holes, and you go up a little hill, you come down a little hill, and at the end of the 5th tee is a cliff that goes straight down. And when you stand on that cliff, you can see the rest of the golf course down in the valley. So it's just stunningly beautiful from up there because you can see the next 13 holes from there. And it's just amazing, amazing. And then from there, like I said, we went over to the East Coast. We played the Jameson links at Port Monarch Resort, which was wonderful. And what's cool is on the first hole at that course, the reason they call it the Jameson links is when you hit the fairway and you're about to hit your second shot, you can look over to the right side, and just off the golf course, a bunch of the Jameson family's gravestones are there. So they're all buried right off the golf course. So when you think of Jameson, that's where they are.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. And then the island's very cool. The island, we had to fight some wind that day, but it was incredible. Has one of the toughest par 4s you'll play on the course. And then we finished at County Louth. And County Louth is a little north of Dublin. And they host the East of Ireland tournament, which is one of the biggest tournaments in the country every year. And it's going to be, what I told you about Carn and Tom Coyne, Carn exploded because of that in the golf scene. Everybody talks about Carn. Got to go, got to see it, got to play it. I honestly feel County Louth is going to be the next Carn. It's going to be the next course in Ireland to just blow up and that everybody's going to be talking about.
So what part of the year did you take the golf trip? With all of our podcasts we have going on, everybody's going at different times. And a lot of guys that have gone on trips, especially Ben and Dunes, are saying the weather was just 1 minute it could be great, and then all of a sudden you're in a rainstorm or the humidity is just killing you. So when did you guys go?
We went in May on that trip, and then the other 2 trips I did to Ireland was another one in May and one in September. So I would recommend those shoulder seasons because it is a little less expensive, but the weather really, I mean, it gets a little warmer in the summer, but in Ireland, the weather stays pretty steady the whole year round. It's not like New England where it's 80s in the summer and 20s in the winter. It stays in that 50 to 65 range most of the year.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
That's still pretty cold, no?
Yeah.
50 to 60.
You know, it's not too bad. If you dress for it and it's not raining and the sun's out, it's not too bad.
How did you choose where to go? You just knew, or was there certain packages that, well, I had this course in it this many days and included this course, so you selected it, or were you able to customize your trip?
Yeah, I built this one from scratch for that trip. So I had already been to Carn, Enniscrone, and County Sligo. So I said, we got to go back there because those 3 courses are amazing. And logistically, it's a good thing, too, because they're not too far from each other. And then the Dublin courses was just word of mouth, people telling me, you need to play here, you need to play here, you need to play here. So I got about 6 recommendations, and I took the 3 that I thought would be best for the group.
And then in terms of like the hotel, obviously that comes into play, but does the package then include, well, you can get the good, better, best package? Is that how that works?
Absolutely. I mean, in Ireland, you can stay from anywhere from a motel to a castle and everything in between. So we picked some nice mid-range hotels because we said, you know what, all we're going to do is sleep there. So we really don't need the high-end stuff, but we want it to be nice enough because we did include a couple of dinners, a welcome dinner and a goodbye dinner in the trip as well. So that was in the package price. And also one day when we had an early tea time in the afternoon, we went over as part of the trip and part of the cost of the trip, we went over to the Guinness storehouse. So we went to the Guinness factory. We saw the make beer, pour beer, the history of Guinness, all that stuff, which was very cool.
So it's not like the travel operator. It's more like it's not like you take this package and you buy it. It's more like a logistics coordinator in a way. Is
Yeah,
that
and you
fair
can
to
do
say?
it both ways. I mean, they do have prepackaged trips that you can just say, "Hey, I'll take that one." Or if you're somebody who knows a lot about Ireland and you know where you want to go and what you want to do, they can build a package for you based on that.
And so in terms of go back to some of the dynamics then. Did you guys play a tournament style or anything? Like, how did that work with like going with strangers?
We did. We played some tournaments. We played a little bit of a Ryder Cup type thing, which was kind of fun. And but for the most part, it was just rotating and meeting different people every day. And that was probably the best part of the whole thing. Because again, we had people from Canada, California, Arizona, Florida, Massachusetts, a bunch of people from different parts of the country, North America on the trip. So it was a blast. I will say, getting back to hotels real quick, one mistake we made, and I would recommend this to people if you're doing a golf trip with more than 2 people, if you're doing 4, 6, 8 people, don't stay in Dublin because the traffic is just abysmal. So I would stay on the outskirts, like just north of Dublin. There's a town called Malahide that's got some great hotels that you could stay in. And that's actually up by Jameson Links and County Louth. Because with Dublin, there were days when we went out of the city to play golf, and because of the traffic, it was taking us double the time to get back to the hotel. So all of a sudden, instead of getting back to the hotel at 3 in the afternoon and relaxing and doing whatever we want to do until dinner, we were getting back at 5 o'clock, taking showers, getting out, having dinner. So my recommendation would be not to stay in Dublin. But if you want a big city experience, then you got to stay in Dublin.
That's great. Now that's what this podcast is about: learning the mistakes and the good and the bad.
Right.
So, but that may be people's first time going over there. Did people not want to go to the city, or is everybody in the mindset, no, this is a golf trip?
Most of the people are, it's a golf trip, and we'll go where the courses are. So on this trip we moved twice in country, because let me tell you a little bit about golf in Ireland. And let me compare it to Scotland real quick. The difference between Ireland and Scotland is in Scotland, there's pods of places in the country where there's a bunch of golf courses. So you go to St. Andrews, there's 6, 8 golf courses you can play. You go up north to where Royal Dornoch and Inverness, there's 6, 8 courses you can play. You go over to where Prestwick is. So what I'm saying is in Scotland, you can go to one place and do a whole golf trip. In Ireland, you're moving because Cairn, I'll tell you a funny story about Cairn because it's about the furthest west you can go in Ireland. And I remember Tom Coyne did an interview and he said he was even telling people in Ireland he was going to Belmullet, the town that Cairn was in, and people who lived there were saying, "You're going all the way to Belmullet?" Because it's out there. So Cairn and then 45 minutes to Enniscrone, another 45 to an hour to County Sligo. And then you go over the other part of the country, and courses are spread out in Ireland. So if you want to play the good courses, you have to drive.
But you're driving an hour each time, or maybe an hour and a half max, or like there's a 4-hour bus ride in between or something.
I wouldn't say 4, but like the first trip my buddy and I did it by ourselves, and I drove. Never do that again. But we went to Old Head, which is on the southern part of the country down in 𝐶𝐞. And then from there, we were going to, because we thought this was our only trip to Ireland. So let's play every famous course. Let's play Ballybunion, Lahinch, Waterville, Tralee. So it's a couple of hours from Old Head to Killarney is where you would stay for Waterville and Dukes and Tralee. And then it's a couple of hours to get to Ballybunion. Then it's another hour, 2 hours to get to Lahinch. So as you're working your way up the country, when you're doing that part of the country, there's no Route 95. It's back roads, driving through farms, all that kind of stuff. So, you're driving a lot of the time going 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour to get to where you're going next.
There was insight right there, though. But it's like you did that, and you're like, never again. We're going through a tour operator.
Yeah, because it makes it easier to take the driving off your hands. It's so much easier. I mean, I'll never forget the road going into Tralee. Tralee is a pretty famous golf course. It's a top 100 public course in the world, and Arnold Palmer did the design. And the last 200 yards, I'd say, getting to Tralee is a 1-lane road with cutoffs. So if a car's coming at you, you pull into one of these little cutoffs so they can get by. because you can't fit 2 cars on that road. So it's a lot of small roads in Ireland. If you're going to go to Ireland and you're going to drive, get the insurance on the car. I will tell you.
Yeah, there you go. So in terms of all that, which is totally cool, great info, great insight. I want to get back to your players and your group. So what we found was guys that are bringing people that they don't know, and lots of guys. You're going to have some drama. You're going to have some prima donnas. You're going to have some guys that are drinkers, some guys that want to be in early, some guys that don't like the music, some guys that. So what was the dynamic? And then also, what about the handicap? Did you have really good golfers and really bad golfers? What was kind of like the level?
Yeah, we had everybody from a 5 handicap to a 25 and everything in between. When any kind of games we played, we took the handicaps into account, obviously, to make sure that everybody had a good time. But I said it before, and I'll say it again, Berkeley, I was shocked at how focused this group was to play golf. The golf was the most important thing in this trip. And the cool thing was, this was the best part. I think it was the first or second group that went out on Karn. We had a guy make a hole-in-one on the first day.
Oh,
Wow.
We're like, this is awesome. This is so cool. Yeah, it was awesome. And so that was a big highlight of the trip, obviously. It was one of the guys from Canada made a hole-in-one on the first day. But I'll tell you, we didn't have a lot of anybody going out and getting wrecked. We had guys that were really focused and took it very seriously, and that was fine. You know, if you're playing with someone who was there to shoot a score, so to speak, rather than to enjoy it, you just kind of let him do his thing and let him get his score, and that was fine. But we also had guys that, if we had a tee time in the morning, was saying, can we find someplace else and get another tee time in the afternoon and play 36? And I was like, you want to do it? Go do it. Do it on your own.
and the age ranges that you winded up getting, what was that?
Oh, all over the place again. I'd say we were anywhere from 24 to 70.
Wow.
And everything in between. Yeah. Yeah, but everybody got along. Everybody had a really good time. It was amazing because, again, like I said early on, I thought this was going to be herding cats. I thought I was going to be getting them back into the hotel, getting them on the shuttle. Everybody, and I think a piece of it too, guys, is the price you pay. You're not going to pay that amount of money to go over to Ireland and just get drunk every night and stumble onto the shuttle in the morning.
It's very true.
It sounds like you've landed that 20 is the ideal number. Is that fair to say?
I'd say anywhere from 16 to 24 is a sweet spot. I wouldn't go more than 24 because I think that that's a lot of work with tee times, especially if you want to play a really nice course. I think I told you guys we're going back next year. So we're doing another group trip next year, and we're playing one of the top 100 courses in the world called Port Marnock, which is kind of funny that there's Jameson Links at Port Marnock Resort, and then there's Port Marnock Country Club, which is a course they're actually talking about using for the British Open in the coming years. So to get tee times there is tough. So if we can, we kept it to 16 or 20 for next year just to make sure that we could get on that course.
So what do you think, Kara? Should we jump in with him or what? Should Joe lock us in for a trip, Harry? What do you think?
I've been contemplating setting something up for my 50th next year. I'm super intrigued, but at the same time, it's like, well, will I appreciate it as much having not been anywhere in the U.S., really, right? Well, except for my one honey pond trip last year.
I'll tell you who will help you appreciate it is the caddies. Because the caddies at courses that have some history to them love telling you about the history of the golf course. So I think that if you're into that and you would love to find out that kind of stuff at a golf course on a golf trip, the caddies are the best way to do it.
So what's a caddy run? How much does it cost for a caddy?
It's less expensive over there than it is here. I'll tell you that. Over there, it's about $80, probably like a $40 tip. But, and I found this out this year, the difference in Ireland, they will double bag, carry 2. In Scotland, they do not. In Scotland, they carry 1 bag. And so you're paying for the caddy by yourself in Scotland, whereas in Ireland, sometimes you can get some places where they'll double bag.
That way, Scotland or Ireland, which one's better?
Boy, it's tough, I'll tell you. Scotland is the trip I did to Scotland was hard to beat because, I mean, let's face it, we went to St. Andrews, we played the old course, we played Carnoustie, we played Kingsbarn, we played some of the best courses in the world. But what I love about Ireland is the people. The people in Ireland are the best. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story going back to that first trip we went on. It was in 2021. So we're coming out of COVID, and we were staying in Killarney at a hotel in Killarney. And we went to a pub. I'll never forget it. J.M. Reedy was the name of the pub. And as it turns out, that was the first night after COVID that the Irish government allowed live music in pubs. So for a year and a half, this was the first night. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, because people just brought their own instruments and started playing with the musical act that was paid to be there. It was incredible how good it was. And everybody was dancing, singing. It was a blast. And that's the other thing that you have in Ireland too, is you have the pub scene, which is, I mean, it's good in Scotland, but it's great in Ireland. They have this thing over there. It's called, and you'll laugh at me when I say this, it's having a good crack. And what crack is, I believe they spell it C-R-A-I-C. Crack in Ireland is having a conversation with somebody at a pub. Just meeting someone, sitting down with them, shooting the ball, having a good time, sharing a couple of pints. I mean, my buddy and I, the first night we were in Ireland in 𝐾𝐨, we went to a pub, and this couple that was sitting at a table next to us came right over, started talking to us. Where are you from? Why are you here? We talked to them for an hour.
So if we had some drinks here, we'd be having a good crack right here.
We would. We're having a good crack right now. Absolutely.
I had some crack last night.
So how many returning of the original 20 are you taking next year?
2 guys from Massachusetts are going, but everybody else is new. And I'm excited for this because these are some guys that I've gotten to know a little bit on Twitter. You know, we talk back and forth and things like that. So I'm excited to have these guys come because I know that they're excited to go.
How many got signed up already?
We got 16 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 16. So
right.
yeah, if we get to 20, that's great. If not, we'll stay at 16, 18, whatever the number is between 16 and 18 as well, we'll stay.
Do you allow black guys on the trip?
We had them on the last trip. Absolutely. We had a guy from Toronto. He was awesome. We had more fun with him. Man, oh man.
That's so funny. Oh, Karen, I love it.
Lifelong friends, I take it then, yeah? You still keep in touch with a lot of these folks?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the guys from Canada, I check in with them every so often. The guys from Massachusetts, I'd become really good friends with. As a matter of fact, one of them came through Pinehurst in January, so we got on number 2 and we played number 2 together and had a blast. And I'm going to go up to the Cape Cod this summer, and I'm going to play with him when I'm up there. So yeah,
That's awesome. Amazing.
Yep.
Love it. What else should we ask? What other tips, or what are we missing that we should ask?
Book early. You know, get that trip booked 6 to 12 months out to make sure you get the courses that you want. You don't want to be fighting for courses because now they book so far out. I was looking at Portmarnock, the course that we're playing next year, and they're already starting to tell you when they're going to open up the tee sheet for 2028 because they can book that far out and they know that they'll sell out. So book early. If you want to play the good courses, book early. But don't be afraid to play some of the not so famous courses in Ireland either. I mean, I always try to trickle those into a trip. You know, when we did the first trip when we did all the big boy courses, we played this course called Dooks, D-O-O-K-S, which was near Killarney. It was awesome. I mean, there were 40, 50 people on the golf course when we were there. It wasn't jam-packed, but the layout was phenomenal. The people, we were even playing, I'll never forget, we were coming up to the tee box on a par 3, and the course superintendent just happened to be driving by, and he stopped. He's like, "Hey guys, where you from? How you liking the course? Anything that you didn't like in the first 12 holes that you played?" And just so don't be afraid to mix in those small courses. And if you want to know some, just jump on Twitter and ask me. Don't be afraid. Anybody who wants to know more about courses like Donegal, Critch Island, Nairn-Port New, these are courses that you're not going to see jump out on famous Ireland golf trips, but they're still phenomenal golf courses. And the cool thing is now you're getting really famous architects going over and building courses over there or doing renos on old courses. Gil Hance, who's done renos on courses all over the United States, he did Pinehurst number 4 here a few years ago. He built Narimport New from scratch, and it's phenomenal. But again, it's location thing. It's kind of off by itself, so you have to get there to get there.
That's really cool. So, would you say, or is there anything different about the golf culture over there, like that they do differently than us? Would you say?
You know what they do differently? They score differently. The people who live there, they all play Stableford, which is the point system. That's what they do. They give points for a birdie, points for a par, 0 points for anything higher than a bogey, and that's how they score there. So it was really interesting when I go over there and I'm doing stroke play with these people that I know from Ireland, and they're writing down +1, +2, 0, and I'm writing 4, 5, 6, 3. So that was one thing that's very different in the cultures of the two. The other thing is the weather dictates golf there. It can get really windy. Newsflash, it rains in Ireland. I'll never forget, we were going up to Donegal. There's a course called Donegal, Merva. And the day we were going there, it was really windy. So I knew the marketing guy there and the GM. There were maybe 10 cars in the parking lot. And I said, slow day today, huh? And the marketing guy said, you know what? On a day like this, our members wake up, they look at the weather and say, I can play tomorrow. I'm good. So on those really bad weather days, the people who are playing over there are the people like us, the idiots who paid, and we can't get a refund, and it's our day to play that course. We're going to play that course no matter what. So that was a big difference too, is like this weekend, it's supposed to be light rain on Sunday. I have a tee time. I'm going out. I'm playing. You know, I've got an umbrella. I've got a cover for my bag. I'm going. Whereas over there, it's, I can play another day. I'm good.
So you said that you went in May and then you went in September. So which one's the best out of May and September?
Well, September's a little nicer because you've had the whole summer weather, and and the sun's in a little better spot. So you're not coming out of cold weather, meaning that there's a better chance you're not going to catch a leftover cold day in March. There's a much better chance of that in May than there is in September. Whereas September, you're coming out of summer and it's not deep enough into the year to worry about having a really cold day.
This has been awesome. Very enlightening, Joe.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
We end with a 6-score framework. So if you were, and it's relative to you, obviously, again, with your wealth of experience of many golf courses, over, 463 you said?
483, yeah.
That's crazy.
In terms of the courses, I'm not asking you to rate each one, but just overall course play, how would you rate that on a score of 1 to 10?
Oh, I can tell you, I've got my ball rack over there of 100 balls, and it's my top 100 ranked. And I would say 12 to 14 of my top 100 are in Ireland, and 3 of my top 10 are in Ireland. So,
wow.
So that tells you where we are. I mean, Ballybunion, Lahinch, and Waterville, I think, are 3 phenomenal golf courses. That's
amazing. And you said, from a crew format, you said 16 to 24 was ideal, and you did kind of a Ryder Cup. So is that where you've landed? It's the best way to do this?
I think it is. Yeah. Or other ways you can do it is you can rotate the foursomes and pick one day where each foursome is going to play against, each foursome is their own team and you play against each other. That's a lot of fun as well, because you can do it 2 ways. You can do it best ball, you can do it best score, you can do it the total score of the foursome. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it as foursomes and do, 4 or 5 teams, depending on how many people you have.
And how would you rate like the overall crew if you were going to score that you had there?
Oh, phenomenal. We had more fun. Yeah, we had the younger guys were a blast. They kind of pulled us older guys along a couple of times to do some stuff. One time we went to this really cool restaurant for dinner, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to walk there from the hotel." And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, it's going to be." And all of a sudden, we're just walking, and 15 minutes we're walking, 25 minutes we're walking, 30 minutes. I'm like, "Where the hell is this restaurant?" But you know what? It was cool because it was called The Church, and it was in an old church. So it had the stained glass windows up. It was very cool. And the fish and chips was excellent. But this group was great.
Big thing of it is, as you said, Joe, is like you paid a good chunk of change, right? The focus is the golf. And so I think that helps the dynamics a ton versus if you go on a guy's trip, there's some guys more into the golf than others, and fun is more on this side of things versus this side, right? And
Right.
so that's where some drama may happen.
Yeah, and we didn't have much. Like I said, we were very lucky to have the group of guys we had, that it was serious golfers who went. And when I say serious, I mean serious about the trip. Again, we had 25 handicaps on this trip. So, they went out and they were shooting 105 and didn't care. Had a grand old time. I think that was really important, and nobody judged either, I think, which was really important. If a 5 handicap was playing with a 20, he never said, "Oh my God, why am I stuck with this guy? He sucks." Everybody just went out, and there was a lot of great camaraderie on the trip. Everybody had a lot of fun. And I hope the next one's the same way.
And in terms of logistics, how would you rate the logistics of Ireland and how you did it?
I think the only mistake we made was the hotel in Dublin. I would stay on the outskirts of Dublin because there's no courses in Dublin anyway. So if you're going to stay in Dublin, it's because you want to be there for the pubs and the restaurants and all that. But if the golf matters more, just stay outside of Dublin. And like this year, we're staying up at the Port Monarch Resort where the Jameson links are. We're staying there. So now we're out of the city. We're at a resort. It's got everything you need. And it's close enough in walking distance so you can get stuff that you want to, if you want to leave the resort and go out to a pub or whatever you want.
We have a run it back mod where you say, is it an annual lock, rotational classic, one and done, rebuild and run, lightning in a bottle? I mean, it sounds like you're rebuilding this and running again.
Absolutely.
Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. And I'll do it again and again. And now the next one after this is I got to get back to Scotland again. It's fresh. I was there a month ago, so it's still fresh in my mind. I'm like, oh, I got to go back. I didn't do everything I want to do. So definitely do Scotland again. But Ireland, we're running it back next year, and I think we're going to have a great time. And again, I've already got to know some of the guys already, and they're going to be the same type of group we had last time.
Hey, so I know you got the 20 guys and everything, and I see that you're married because you got a ring on. What's going on with the wife? You taking her on some of these trips, or is she staying in a hotel? Is she going with other women, other wives going, or?
Nope, this is just a guy's trip. And it's funny, I met my wife 18 years ago. And at that time, my best friend and I were already doing buddies trips. So when I met her and we got serious, I said, one thing I'm going to tell you, every year I'm going to do a golf trip with my best friend. And then
that's in the prenup.
Right. And then it evolved into more and more. But, her and I, we go on vacations. Her and my stepdaughter, matter of fact, next month they're going to Paris. So, she does her trip with the girls. I do my trip with the guys. And then her and I do a trip together every year.
So when you organize a new one, do you throw it out to the people that you know that went on these trips first? Or do you like the idea of getting to know your Twitter followers or whomever?
I did both. Yeah, I threw it out on Twitter, and then I contacted the guys who went last time. And unfortunately, the guys from Canada already had their trip planned for next year, so they couldn't come with us. And plus, we're playing 3 of the same courses we played last time. So I think this trip was built for people who have never gone before, because a lot of times people, when they go on a golf trip, they just want to play all new courses that they've never played before. Me, I want to go back to courses that I really love. So that's why I'm excited about Carn and Escrone and County Sligo to go back there again. And again, it's the people. The people make the trip.
Awesome. So, Burke, where are you ranking this for the Sick Pod host FOMO?
There's really nothing that I see wrong. There's nothing that's really jumping out at me. I like the fact that he's saying May and September, the weather's going to be decent. It's not going to be too humid to where I'm like kind of sweating in my palm of my hands. Can't freaking hold on to my club. If I do want to bring a doctor's note, I could have it. Maybe I could walk a couple. Maybe I could ride a couple, so I can have that note in my back pocket. But I've never been to that part of the world, so I think I'm giving this this is probably one of the best ones. I'm giving it a 9-10, dude. I'm all in. I love it.
My only concern for you is the walking. Like, could you do that many days in a row potentially walking, or
No.
would you be able to stagger through?
I'd
right?
have to stagger it. I'd have to have my doctor's note in my hand, and I'd have to say, okay, I'll walk the first day, but I got to get a caddy. I'm not carrying my bag. I got to get a caddy. If I'm doing that, hey man, I think I'd probably surprise myself and be able to do all right. But it depends, like if it's a lot of hills and everything. But if I've got water and keep myself hydrated, I think I probably could walk four out of the 7 days, maybe. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I love it.
Yeah, and we can work with you too, Berkeley. You know, I can tell you what courses to walk and what courses to ride, as far as terrain and hills and all that. So, yeah, we can certainly work with that too. The flatter
But
course.
you can't predict his game and where he's going to shoot that day.
That's true.
No one can.
That is true. If
That
he's
is
up on
true.
one of those dunes the size of the Green Monster, then he's on his own.
I'm on my own. That's why I'm going to be bringing 100 balls. I got 100 balls all set up.
Right. Yeah. Just reload, my man. Reload.
Yeah. How about you,
Yeah.
Garrett? Where are you at?
I'm with you. I am like, this is very high on the list. 9, if not 10. The only reason I would knock it down to a 9 is because of what you said earlier, Joe, is, well, two things. One is, will I appreciate it to the level of what it is without having experienced some of the other courses in the US or more local area? And two, Berkeley knows this, I'm a prima donna. A little bit of rain kind of ruins it for me. I really like the California sun.
I got you.
But if it's light rain, I can take it. But heavy rain, I don't know. I just
Well, I'll tell you,
that little variable.
in 3 trips there, I've only walked off a course once because of rain. That it was that bad that we were like, "This is it. I'm done." So we were on the 15th hole and we looked over and we said, "Oh, look, there's the clubhouse. Let's go."
But the way you've put it together in terms of the number, it seems ideal. Using the operator makes the logistics so much easier, not only on you but on, I think, everybody.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like the way to do it.
It is, and it's very turnkey. These trips are extremely turnkey, man. I mean, we tell you where and when to be, and if you're there, everything's going to be good.
One thing
Would
that
we leave Berkeley behind when he's late for the bus?
hell yeah they would. yeah, you would. Hey, there's one thing that I haven't really heard much. Okay, so if the caddy's carrying my bag and I know I need to stay hydrated, everybody does. Do they have a cart girl that comes around giving you drinks? Are you allowed to have beer out there? I mean, what goes on there?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have cart girls at too many. The resort courses do, but a lot of courses have a halfway house because the way it's called links golf in Ireland and Scotland, and the way that it works is most courses you play 9 holes out away from the clubhouse, 9 holes back to the clubhouse. So when you go out to the furthest point away, they have a big halfway house that's got food and beverage and everything there. So you can certainly grab what you need to get yourself back in.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Joe, so much. This has been really enlightening. I love all the information that we're intaking here.
Oh, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed chatting with you guys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Why don't you share your socials and how people find you? So if they want to join you on one of these trips or one of your future trips, I think that's, I found you on Twitter as well. So
so
why don't you share your socials?
I'm Golf Traveler Joe on both Twitter and Instagram. Just drop me a line. Love to chat with people, even if it's not about this trip. If you have any questions about any place I've been, I always answer people really quick.
That's so awesome. Thanks again for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you one thing, man. This has been the most informative podcast show of all of our shows. I tell you, Joe really knows what's going on. And I'm telling you, folks, he's the guy. He's the guy. I'm telling you, he knows 480 plus golf courses this guy's been to. Just came back from Scotland. Going back again next year. He's got the people that he's going with. He knows the ins and outs. I'm telling you, this guy is the guy. And we were so happy to have you on today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like button, that subscribe button. That's going to help us out. We love it at Sick Golf Trips. And we'll see you guys again next week.
All right, have a good one.